Okay, so in this video I will set up 10 machines and I will connect these machines to a DHCP server, and the functionality of the DHCP server will be distributing the IP addresses to these machines. So I will add my 10 machines. This is like 1 2 3 4 5, then I will add another 5, so 1 2 3 4 5. So by now I have 10 machines in here. We consider this a computer lab. Then we will connect all these machines to a server using a switch. We must have a switch in here because there will be 10 cables coming from the machine all the way to the switch. Then there will be a single wire to the server. So I go to connect, then where's that, sorry, my connections, then to the switch, again to the switch. So the DHCP server functionality will be distributing the IP addresses to all clients or all other machines in the topology. So by now I connect, so I will fast forward the timing. Okay, we have this spanning tree built and we have my topology ready. Now I will add my server. This is the server. Okay, it says server PT all the way down, so that means the server packet tracer. I have my server here, so I will, before I'm connecting the server into this switch, I have to configure the server. Okay, so we'll go to the desktop. First of all, initially I have to configure what? An IP address with a subnet mask. So IP address of the server will be 192.168.10.1 with a subnet mask. Subnet mask will be 255.255.255.0. Okay, so these are my initial configuration for the server. I will go to the IP configuration, then I will add the IP address 192.168.10.1 and the subnet mask 255.255.255.0. So once we configure an IP address, we must add a subnet mask in here. Okay, so now I did configure the IP address for the server. Now I have to set up the server and enable this service, which is the DHCP service. So I go to services, then to the DHCP service. Okay, from in here clearly I can see it's switched off, so I have to switch it on after configuring the service. So the IP address starts from 192.168.10.11. so this is my starting IP address. This is the first one. So 192.168.10.11. So I did configure the starting IP address. The subnet mask, this will be 255.255.0. Number of maximum users, we have from 11 all the way to 100. I'm considering those are 100 users. Okay, then I have to go and click on save. Pool name already exists. Okay, so this is add. We have to click on save in here to save the configuration. Now we did save the configuration. I have to enable this service, so I go click on. Okay, so by now this server is configured. Okay, has been configured. Now I will enable the DHCP service on each of these machines in here. So I go to the desktop, then the IP address. So instead of giving a static IP address by entering manually the IP address, we will configure this as a DHCP. Okay, let's connect the server so we will see how the DHCP will start distributing these IP addresses. So I will connect the server to the switch, fast forward the time because this is still learning about these machines. Okay, so I fast forward the time. Now it's green, that's mean the spanning tree is built up, and everybody know about each other. So the server knows about the client, and the client knows about the server. Okay, once we have this is green, so means the spanning tree it's built up. There is a protocol called spanning tree. It's operate inside the switch. Okay, so now I will go to the first machine. So instead of giving the IP address manually, once I go to DHCP, let's see this full screen in here. So once I click on DHCP, it's requesting an IP address. DHCP request successful. So it took the first IP address. So 192.168.10.11 with this subnet mask, and this is the first IP address of our addressing scheme. So we have here our addressing scheme. The first one is 192.168.10.11, and this is the IP address. Now we will do the same for the other machine. We go to desktop. So instead of entering this manually, we click on the DHCP, and now it says requesting. Then DHCP request successful, and it took 12. Okay, this is the second IP address. So, and we will do so on with all machines. I'll switch to DHCP. The IP address again to DHCP. We have requesting an IP address, request successful. Instead of entering all these IPs manually, and we could do mistake during entering these IP addresses, so it's much better to enable this protocol where the IP addresses will be assigned dynamically for all machines or all the client within the topology or within the network. One more thing, now we need to configure a host name for this one. We will call it computer lab switch. So to configure this switch with its new host name, okay, I will use a console cable. I will connect my console cable to the switch using a console port in here. Then from this laptop I will click, then I will go to the desktop, then I will open my terminal, then I will keep this configuration as it is, then I will go to enable, then I will go to the global configuration mode by typing configure terminal. Then in here we will type host name, so I will change it to computer lab switch. Enter. So now the host name become a computer lab switch. I will save my configuration by entering the following command, which is the copy running configuration to startup configuration. So now I did save my configuration. So by now I have my topology ready and everything is running smoothly. I will disconnect this cable. So first I have to click on this open area in here, then I have to go on delete, then I click delete, then again I have to go select this one, which is the select icon, so I can select these devices. And this topology we call it a logical topology. So the drawing of a logical topology will be something like this. So we did configure 10 machines with a DHCP server, and we set up a static IP for the server, and we enable the surface of the DHCP surface on this server. So this server will enable to distribute the IP addresses on all the machines in here. Thank you.